The morning of May 22, 2019, started as the pinnacle of a lifelong obsession for 55-year-old software executive Don Cash. He wasn't a professional athlete or a fame seeker. He was a father from Utah with a quiet, methodical dream to join the elite group of humans who had completed the 7 summits. He had already bagged the highest peaks on 6 continents, from the frozen wastes of Antarctica to the jagged spine of the Andes. Only Everest remained. Don didn't choose a flashy Western expedition. He signed on with a smaller, more affordable local operator, trusting his preparation and the thousands of hours he had spent training in the thin air of the American West. Just after sunrise, Don reached the roof of the world. Standing at 8,848 meters, he pulled out a satellite phone and left a breathless, crackling message for his family. "I feel so blessed." In that moment, the dream was complete. But on Everest, the summit is a false finish line. More than 80% of deaths occur during the descent, when the body has already spent its reserves and the mind begins to dissolve into a hypoxic fog. Don was a man of quiet dedication, but as he turned to begin his journey back down, he realized he wasn't alone. He was stepping into a reality that looked less like a sacred mountain and more like a deadly high-altitude theme park. The descent led Don toward the Hillary Step, a narrow, vertical rock face just below the summit. In 2015, an earthquake had partially collapsed the feature, turning it into a treacherous bottleneck. On this specific day, nearly 200 climbers had chosen the same narrow weather window to make their push. As Don reached the ridge, he encountered a sight that defied logic. A single, unmoving line of humans stretched across a ledge no wider than a table. They were stacked body to body at 28,000 feet, waiting for their turn to scramble down the fixed ropes. This was the death of 1,000 seconds. Above 8,000 meters, every minute spent stationary is a minute your body consumes itself. Your oxygen levels plummet, your warmth vanishes into the thin air, and your organs begin to shut down in slow motion. Don didn't panic or yell for help. He simply stood in line, a man who had done everything right but was now trapped by a system that was broken. As the delay stretched from minutes into hours, the altitude began its silent work. Other climbers around him were failing, some running out of bottled oxygen, others losing consciousness where they stood. But the line remained frozen. Just below the Hillary Step, Don Cash finally collapsed. His Sherpas acted with desperate speed, performing CPR and providing extra oxygen, but Everest has no mercy for heroics at that altitude. Don briefly regained consciousness before slipping away again, his muscles too weak to fight the gravity of the mountain. The Sherpas tried to drag him down, but carrying an unresponsive person in the death zone is a death sentence for the rescuers. Eventually, they were forced to stop. Other climbers passed by, some unaware of the tragedy unfolding, others too far gone to offer help. In the end, the system of overcrowding had become a wall that no one could climb over. Don Cash never made it back to Camp 4. His body remains on the mountain, still dressed in his down suit, his boots slowly being claimed by the snow. For a time, he became a grim landmark for those following the trail. A quiet man frozen in place, a part of the mountain he loved. His death sparked international outrage, fueled by a viral photo of the human traffic jam that cost him his life. It wasn't a storm or an avalanche that killed him. It was the ordinary act of waiting. His legacy is a chilling warning. Sometimes the greatest danger isn't the mountain itself, but the success followed by stillness. Don stood on the roof of the world, but the descent is where the real story begins. And for Don, that story ended in a line that never moved.